Namaskar. If I were a news reader, I would have read out CPIM General Secretary Sitaram Yechury passed away on Thursday, September 12, 2024. He was undergoing treatment at All India Institute of Medical Sciences, New Delhi for acute respiratory tract infection. He was 72 years old. As a journalist and a chronicler of contemporary political history of India, I am expected to display customary disconnect, aloofness. But sometimes the passing away of a politician makes someone like me think that and cross that Lakshman Rekha, because a politician represented a thought, an idea. Long ago, almost 28 years ago, in fact, in 1996, Indian voters decided to hand out a split mandate. No party with clear numbers to form a government. The Atal Bihari Vajpayee government had lasted from 16th of May 1996 to June 1st, 1996 for that 13 din ki sarkar. I was sitting in the CPIM office ground floor canteen with Sitaram Yechury, while the then party General Secretary Harkishan Singh Surjeet was in a meeting with party stalwart Jyoti Basu in his office upstairs. I asked Sitaram Yechury, what's happening? How will the motley group of ex-Janta Parivar offshoots, left and others come together and get the Congress to support them to keep the BJP out? It was a long question. With his hair in disarray, his customary smile in place, he pulled out a cigarette, lighted it and tipped the ash in a cup with no handle. He said, I will quote Leon Trotsky, "We may march separately, but we will strike together." To underline the importance of a united opposition, that coalition magic. I have known politicians, thousands of them. Some have been well-read, way beyond what their political or social ideology demanded. Some were born with compelling oratory, some married to an ideology, some rigid about it, some others who had the pragmatism to adapt to the circumstances and situations. Sitaram Yechury, or Sita as I used to call him in private, and Comrade Sita when in public, had a lot of these virtues. The most remarkable, from a journalist's point of view, he didn't spare time for a media man on the basis of the pelf of the media house the journalist represented. That was endearing. And I know anyone who met Sitaram Yechury just once or regularly would leave without being impressed by his views, wit and demeanor, despite disagreeing with him. Now, he was an All India CBSE topper. He was a university topper. He, at the height of the dreaded emergency as JNU Students' Union President, stood in front of Prime Minister Indira Gandhi, who was also the JNU Chancellor, and told her she was not welcome in the university campus and she should resign from the Chancellor's post. He was CPIM General Secretary since 2015 and was re-elected twice in 2018, 2022. A member of the party's Politburo for over 3 decades. His entry into CPIM was natural after his association with CPIM's student wings, SFI, Students' Federation of India. He became the national president of the organization, or was later invited to the Central Committee of the CPIM in 1984 and was made a member of it in the 12th Party Congress of the CPIM held in Kolkata in 1985. Now, what did Sitaram Yechury represent? He brought ideological clarity, strategic brilliance to the political table. I found him to be candid. I interviewed him just a few months ago. India bloc, of which the left was a member, had managed to derail the BJP juggernaut, not fully, but significantly. He told me voters of India in 2024 Lok Sabha polls had gifted themselves an opposition. He initially belonged to a political school where students grew on anti-Congressism, because that was the dominant party at that time. But if changed political climate needed him and many other parties to ally with the Congress, he was the deal maker. He worked on the Common Minimum Program of the United Front government led by Deve Gowda in 1996. Then he was also a key player in bringing the opposition parties together to form the India bloc in 2023. Insiders know he helped the Congress in shaping its 2024 manifesto. Remember, that was a political turnaround. The Congress's left turn in recent times had a bit of Sitaram Yechury in it. The opposition unity to restrain the BJP was hurting the party he headed. But off camera, after his last interview, he had told me, ideology is more critical at times than an electoral scorecard. He also told me that his next big step is going to be a revival plan. He has to ensure that his allies of today don't grow at the left's cost. But then, destiny has ways to upset plans humans make. His last appearance was in the form of a video recorded from the hospital where he paid tribute to fellow comrade and former West Bengal Chief Minister Buddhadev Bhattacharya, who passed away last month. Yechury couldn't take part in the funeral. Now, with leaders like A.B. Bardhan of the CPI, Harkishan Singh Surjit of CPM gone long ago, Yechury's passing away is a setback for the left of the political centre thought. Ironically, the left slide comes at a time when pro-poor policies and Aam Aadmi welfare schemes are in vogue. And even the political right is not shying from adopting what the left were promising from a very long time ago. His family has donated his body to All India Institute of Medical Sciences for research purposes. Perhaps a fitting end to a life dedicated to the battle of the subalterns. I would like to bring in excerpts of what Sitaram Yechury told me in his last interview. Perhaps he talks about that legacy. One will have to wait and see how history judges him. That was a period which saw the rise of Sitaram Yechury.
Confronting Mrs. Gandhi directly.
Yeah. क्या हुआ था वो? Will you recall it for the viewers?
Well, ये हुआ था कि अब emergency हट गई and she lost the election, but she was the chancellor of JNU. So उन दिनों में ये rule था कि the prime minister becomes automatically the chancellor. So we said no, this can't happen, man, because emergency, excesses, etc., etc. So in the union we passed a resolution, a 4-page a litany of all that's happened.
सारे आरोप जो उनके ऊपर थे.
सब कुछ जो किया उन्होंने यूनिवर्सिटी में वो लेके हम कहे कि पूरा यूनिवर्सिटी मार्च करके गए उनके घर पे. और वो उन दिनों में वो मदर टेरेसा क्रिसेंट पे, वो वेलिंगटन क्रिसेंट कहा जाता था तब, तो वहाँ पर उनका घर था. तो हमने यही सोचा जिस तरीके से अरेस्ट वारंट हमारे हॉस्टल के कमरे के बाहर छाप देते थे.
वो उन दिनों आपके बड़े सारे स्टूडेंट्स भी अरेस्ट हो रहे थे.
और वो हॉस्टल के दरवाजे के ऊपर उसको चिपका देते थे, क्योंकि अक्सर स्टूडेंट अंडरग्राउंड होता था, मतलब कुंड कैच है. तो हमने सोचा हमें भी वही करना होगा, इंदिरा गांधी जी के कोटे पे, मतलब वहाँ पे चिपका दे,
नोटिस चिपका दिया आपने.
हम गोंद लेके गए, लाई वाई सब कुछ मतलब तैयार हो गए. लेकिन जब वहाँ पे गए तो वीसी शुक्ला साहब थे, तो उन्होंने बोला क्या है, तो मैं बोला ये मेमोरेंडम देना है मैडम को. तो ऐसे रुकिए, तो अंदर गया, बाहर आया और बोले कि नहीं 5 लोग आ सकते हो, मिल सकते हो. मैं बोला 5 लोग नहीं, पूरी यूनिवर्सिटी आई हुई है, या आएंगे तो पूरे आएंगे, नहीं तो नहीं आएंगे, ये यहाँ पे चिपका के चले जाएंगे. तो उन्होंने बोला रुको. फिर अंदर गए तो अचानक देखा कि मैडम गांधी खुद आ रही है बाहर, वो खुद गेट पे आ गई. That was very easy. Yeah, she came to the gate, so everybody was surprised naturally. So then she said, "What is it?" I said, "Ma'am, come here."
You were the neta of that group.
Yeah, I was the president of the students' union. Yeah. So I said, "We come here to hand over a memorandum." He said, "What does it say?"
तो डर नहीं लगा? इंदिरा गांधी awesome type person.
And just imagine her courage also to walk out and come in front of about 600 students, at least 600 odd then. And then she came, and no police bandobast of anything of the nature that you see today. So then he said, what is there in the memorandum? He said, "We want you to resign as the chancellor of the university."
ये आपने प्रधानमंत्री को बोला देश की.
और वो want me to resign. He said, "Yes, you are the chancellor of the university, and after all this that's happened in the emergency, I don't think it will be correct for you to continue, and we would want you to resign." He said, "That's what the memorandum is." So he said, "Read it out." अब परेशानी की थी, उसके अंदर इतने गाली भरे हुए थे, वो रीडिंग इट आउट, बट आई रेड इट आउट.
पढ़ा
पूरा पढ़ा. शी took it in a spirit. But one thing, she always had a constant smile on her face, all through. ये गंभीर सवाल जिसके ऊपर काफ़ी कुछ अब ये संघर्षें होंगी, और ये बात ना सिर्फ हमारे से लेफ्ट के अंदर भी, ये बात बाकी लेफ्ट पार्टीज़ के अंदर भी ये बात उभर कर आ रही है।
क्या चीज़?
CPI का भी यही कहना है कि हमसे पूरी मदद ले लेते हैं लेकिन हमें कुछ नहीं मिलता है। तो चलो इस बार राजस्थान में उन्होंने गरीबत मतलब हमें वो सीकर वो देना पड़ा, क्योंकि वो हालत ऐसी थी। अगर हम और आप लड़ते तो बीजेपी जीतता, वो वास्तविकता था। तो अब ये एक सवाल है, ये सवाल को हमें, लेकिन इसके पीछे भी एक मुख्य बात ये है कि जब तक हम अपनी अंदरूनी ताकत नहीं बढ़ा पाते। पंजाब के जो एक बहुत बड़े ये होते थे ह्यूमरिस्ट, पुराने ज़माने में बहुत ज़्यादा एक्सीडेंट में मर गए थे, हाँ क्या नाम था उनका, तो एक दिन चंडीगढ़ में कई सालों की बात, पहले की बात है, जब हवाला चल रहा था, डेंट डायरी वगैरह, तो हम चंडीगढ़ में चल रहे थे हमारे पार्टी सेक्रेटरी के साथ, तो उन्होंने देख लिया, हाँ जसपाल भट्टी थे, हाँ, तो उन्होंने देख लिया, कहते येचुरी साहब आइए। मैं बोला मेरा तो बट्टा बिठा दिया, अभी पता नहीं क्या करेगा। तो मंच पे ले गए जी, कहते जी देखो जी ये लोग भी आएंगे आपके पास वोट मांगे, लोगों से कह रहा था, लेकिन कोई फ़ायदा नहीं इनको, देखिए इनको राज करने की आदत ही नहीं है। इतनी बड़ी लिस्ट आई है हवाला में, एक भी कम्युनिस्ट का नाम नहीं है, ये तो बेकार है, राज भी नहीं कर सकते हो, उनका नाम ही नहीं है हवाला कांड में। We have to regain that space. That is the objective, and I think we are in the process of doing it, because a new type of party is being built. These youngsters are coming in a big way, which is the biggest asset. Rahul Gandhi has assumed a certain degree of leadership, and particularly after both these Jodo Yatras, there is a degree of, I must say, maturity and understanding and accommodativeness. Because I think the Yatras have taught him of listening to the people, listening to their, what they have to raise. And that is very important.
When we talk about politicians, we usually talk about the power they wielded, the assets they created for themselves, the wealth they left behind for their families. Like in the case of Comrade A.B. Burden, I recall, who did not have tangible assets or great amount of cash in his bank. Sitaram Yechury, in his last affidavit in Rajya Sabha, had submitted that he had 10,000 odd cash in hand, and his total assets stood at nearly 1 lakh rupees. Perhaps that's what is a template that the public can demand from its leaders.